The research papers on a broad spectrum of themes slated for discussion during the next 3 days will, needless to emphasize, immensely enrich development-oriented academic research in the country. They will also spur and crystallize vital networking among key national as well as foreign experts and stakeholders in all domains of vital national interest in the period ahead. Furthermore, another invaluable spin-off of this conference will be its impact and contribution in debunking and rectifying the shifting negative narrative on Eritrea. This has been pursued for almost 2 decades now without let-up by major legacy media outlets and associated think tanks. The optimism must, of course, be tempered with a dose of realism. As we all know, the defamatory campaigns against Eritrea never stemmed from paucity of information or from good faith media misperception.
Hello, my name is Olivia W Mel. I received my PhD from Harvard University in political science. I'm currently a postdoctoral fellow at the Zolberg Institute at the New School in New York City. And I came to this conference to present my paper entitled Ethnic Democracies, an Examination of Ethiopia's Ethnic Federalist System and Its Implications. And in my study, I examined the way Ethiopia decided to structure its government into an ethnic federation of states based on ethno-linguistic identities, and how that type of structure, according to political science theories and history, naturally leads to civil war and conflict. What I think can be learned from this example are the difficulties of managing pluralistic societies and creating nation states. And why I chose this subject is because of the recent conflict and civil war in Ethiopia and the broader questions of regional stability. And I believe that the lessons that we can take from the choices that other countries in the Horn make can help Eritrea continue to have stable and peaceful futures, and can help us generate greater understanding among the region and create an idea of citizenship and belonging to the greater Horn region. I think some of the most interesting questions that were asked and some of the feedback was about how to move beyond this present state. And I think that's been some of the most interesting questions in the conference, is that we can have criticism and we can see failure, particularly in neighboring states, but what is the next step and how do we move beyond that? And while ideas were generated, of course, nobody has the way forward or the answers, but some of the answers that I had and my co-presenter, Professor Mohammed Hassan, has are both about creating national identities for all countries in the Horn region, but as well as having a greater regional cooperation and integration. This is a beautiful event, that this is a beautiful conference, that it brings together so many different scholars from Eritrea, from the diaspora, and foreigners who are also interested on the subject of Eritrea, that there is an exchange of ideas on so many topics, from how to design buildings, from the patterns of wind to the ancient history of Eritrea and the archaeology of civilizations of over 4,000 years ago, to modern day state relations and tensions. And so what I would encourage is to keep learning and to keep engaging in scholarship. I emphasize my university because I think I'm probably one of the few Eritreans to have passed through Harvard's doors, certainly for a PhD, and perhaps one of the few in political science. And from all of these scholars who've been trained here and internationally, we're probably some of the first from this country, from this heritage, to be the ones in our field. So to bring us together is the future of Eritrea, is the way forward, is to invest in learning, in knowledge, and in the exchange of ideas.
Thank you. My name is W Waldo. I have a PhD in pharmaceutics, and I spent more than 20 years working working on biotechnology companies in corporate America. I came from Pennsylvania, United States. The reason I came over here is to attend the International Conference on Eritrean Studies. Specifically, I had a plan or a topic to discuss about relationship between science, technology, and social development. And in today's presentation, I tried to share my experience as to how health sciences impact good health outcomes in the population. And by attending this conference, I was able to learn the current state of our health system in Eritrea, and I was able to learn what additional supports the Eritrean government, the health ministry needs from us in diaspora who work in the field of medicine, pharmaceutical productions, and health policy in general. So today was an honor for me to present and to get feedback from the people who attended the conference. The title I tried to present was related to the history of manufacturing parenterals, specifically sterile pharmaceutical parenterals in Eritrea, and starting from way before Eritrean liberation, the activities and tasks the Eritrean fighters took in terms of supporting the combatants as well as people in liberated areas, how they supported them from health professional perspective. And today we reflected on the current state, and also we discussed about future state, what should it look like, and where we are compared with the world. Few of the inputs I got from today's discussion is, and I also try to reflect, is there is great enthusiasm from people in diaspora to support the people of Eritrea, the government of Eritrea in this endeavor. We need an equal pull effect from inside Eritrea, so that in an organized way, so that we can further advance the progress Eritrea has made on meeting the SDG goals. And Eritrea is at a very remarkable achievement level, but we want to further take it higher with collaboration with Eritrean professionals in diaspora. So today was a great starting point for us to meet and create some kind of connection, and we wanted to further this in the coming months and weeks and years as well.
My name is Massimo Zaccaria. I work at the University of Pavia. I teach African history, and here I presented a paper with Nathaniel Aaron about the first two Tigrinya periodicals, Melik Tislam and the Best Friend of the Ethiopian People, that were published in 1909 and then 1919. That is the period covered by the two journals. It is very interesting because of the period. No, we are dealing with a very early period, 1909. There was already groups of Eritreans that were using written text, printed text, in order to communicate ideas, exchange ideas. So there was a network of educated Eritreans that were able to access printed documents and exchange ideas through this document. And then we started from that two journals, and we enlarged our analysis, and we analyzed other documents that testify, prove the use by Eritreans of the written word, exchange of letters among Eritreans in that period, the early 20s, from 1909 to up to 1920s. There are many traces of the use of correspondence by Eritreans to deal with the local authorities, but also many askari fighting in Libya, they were writing home letters, they were exchanging postcards among themselves, and this is a phenomenon that went on up to the 30s, the 40s, and so we were analyzing that phenomenon. The role of women in this chain, meaning that in many cases, letters were addressed to women, to the wives of the soldiers, and the authority refers to the wives of the soldiers as the legal representatives here in Eritrea, and the women were receiving part of the salary of their husbands, and so at the end, all this system empowered women within Eritrean society, are proof of a major role played by women. And the name of women appears in the documents, because in the colonial documents you have the name of these women that were asking for information for the salaries, etc. And so that's quite new.
Any message you would like to say in regards to the conference and what you can see?
Well, it's it's a very important moment for the exchange of ideas among the scholars. I hope that they will keep on organizing this conference also in the future, because it's a great opportunity for exchanging ideas and researches with our colleagues here in Eritrea.
My name is Solomon Tesfalidet, and I am from Umeå University in Sweden, and I am an analytical chemist, and I'm very happy and pleased to participate in this conference, which has attracted a lot of scholars, not only Eritreans but also international researchers. And my presentation was about development of electrochemical platforms for analysis of drug compounds. So the idea is to develop a sensor for detecting drugs which are used in chemotherapy, for example. And why these sensors are important is because the drug, if the concentration is too high, then it will not only kill cancer cells, but it also kills healthy cells. And if the concentration is low, then it will not cure. So the therapeutic window is very small, and then you must have to adjust the dose so that it will not be too high and it will not be too low. So that's the idea. So today, what people do is that they send clinics, they send the samples to a central laboratory, and then they wait for a day or 2 days to get the result, and they bounce back and forth with the sample until the concentration is low enough to make the second dose. So if this sensor is developed, then you will be able to use it for bedside diagnostics, be able to continuously measure the level of chemotherapy or the drug in the blood. So a similar biosensor which is widely used now is the sensor which is used for measuring the glucose level in blood, which is used by people with diabetics. So that's the idea. Yes, they asked about how far is it from commercialization, because this is in its early development stage. So a lot of things must have to be done. The sensor must have to be selective, and it must have to be the detection limit must have to be low enough also to be able to measure the concentrations, low concentrations in the blood. So the detection limit and the sensitivity is a key issue, and the selectivity as well. So people were asking, is this used only for drug analysis? No, it will be also be used for other substances, because the electrode can be modified in different ways in order to be able to use it for detection of metals, for example, or pesticides. So the questions which were posed were very interesting and encouraging. I have been here before teaching at Asmara University for 1 semester, and I know some of the researchers and teachers, and this was lacking before, and then I think this type of platform for researchers to interact is very important, and you have been very successful in coordinating all this. It's covered economy, technology, politics, you name it. It was a lot of interesting subjects. Difficult to select, in which panel to be. So I'm very happy.